Now for the technology overview, this module are going to describe the different parts of the role center, use the banners and checklists, tips and tours, and describe different pages, apply and save filter, the keyboard shortcuts. Okay, so some of them will be in the upcoming exercise. Okay, differentiate between designing, okay, customizing, and personalizing. Now, designing is, for example, uh, if you see the form, um, or, oh sorry, in Dynamic 365 Central, Business Central, you have to know one terms that they're using. They don't usually call it a form, but they call it a card. Okay, so when you display a record, for example, a record for a certain customer or record for a certain vendor, okay, so they say, oh, look at this card. Yeah. If you're used to the old terms, the terms for other Dynamic 365, we call it form. Yeah. So in Dynamic 365 Business Central, the documentations, they mentions a lot about card. Okay. It makes sense in a sense because card is to display a summary, for usually, yeah, a summary of informations. Um, so the form usually to display one record at a time. So in a sense, when you show that card, it show about the customer. Okay, that is the uh, displaying the customer informations. Okay, one at a time. Or you create the sales order. They say, oh, take a look at this sales order card. Okay? So it's actually yeah, you can call it a card or form. Now we are going to see the uh, so the designing, usually you can design that card. So for example, you want to add additional button or you want to design, let's say the report. Okay, so the reports already, Dynamic 365 already have a specific report, but you want to design it, for example. Okay, you can change the design. Um, Design usually start from scratch or from existing one. Okay, but usually design is from scratch. Design and customizing is very close. So you already saw the design, you want to change it a little bit. That's more like customizing the design. Yeah. So personalizing, um, usually change something that don't change the design or the specific part, but more personalize it according to your preference. For example, just simply changing the background color, yeah, the theme color. Okay, that's already personalizing. Yeah. You can personalize your profile as well. Okay. Links, notes, comments, and a text document. We're going to see those. Okay. Now, I add additional note before we continue with this. Because they didn't mention anything yet about subscriptions type. This you need to know this first. Okay. Uh, because you need the licensing for your internal user. Okay, so from this, imagine this is your Dynamic 365 Business Central. So as an internal user, okay, you are as an employee or you hire the third party agent or contractor. Sometimes even supplier, if you allow them to update a little bit module about themselves, okay, or the product that they're selling to us, then you might want to purchase the license for those vendor. Okay, but a lot of company doesn't allow that. Now each of your employee of course need the access licensing. Yeah. Now the terms that we use is SL. Okay, user SL. SL stands for subscriptions licensing. In case later in the documents, if you read, they mention something about SL. Okay, now you know SL stands for subscriptions licensing. In the older era, we have the subscription licensing attached to the device that you use. Now this one is more per user basis. Yeah. Usually you have something called full user or additional user. Okay, so now let's take a look. I already prepared this. Yeah. You can see the pricing over here and compare it to this website link that I provide to you before. Yeah. So notice there are two links there. Yeah. If you click the first link and you go next, okay, until page number 2, you will notice this one. Yeah. So I borrow the image from here. Now compare it with this part. Yeah, for the licensing. Notice that they mentions about full user. Take a look at the picture. Full user, usually either you purchase essential or premium licensing. Additional user are just the team member. So usually they just read only. Yeah. For example, this full user already created all those informations. This team member maybe just need to access the report. Okay? Your manager, for example. So we can call them additional user, the team member. So usually they just need to read the business report, look up the customer or your inventory data, or do auditing, for example. Yeah. So what is this essential and premium license? Then you can take a look on the other links that I sent to you. Yeah. The licensing part. Essential and premium. Yeah. So the only difference is just the premium include the service management, which is customer service representative usually use, and the SCM, supply chain management. Yeah. So depends which module that your company need. Okay, the licensings could differ. Now to explore the different parts of the role center, the first time you set up your business center, okay, they usually they have this get started, which is very handy. Now I'm going to send a file, just a quick one. Wait there. So for the convenience, I already create this. Just give me one moment. Copy the link. Yep. So I already create a Google Drive, okay, for you to see. Now I add the references here where you can see the some of the references. It's just a video, okay, about the Dynamic 365 Business Center. Okay. Now you can take a look on that. I'm going to upload another one later on. I think I forgot to upload it just now. That I do the screenshot of all those get started module. So beside the get started, actually there's something interesting that you can see also. Dynamic 365 Business Central have something called assisted setup. Okay, so you can search assisted setup. Now when after you search that, notice that one of the very first startup, okay, is to set up your company, the step by step. Okay, once you go through that, they will tick that part. Okay, so you can take a look again. If you miss that one, you can click this and then take a look. And if you are a more visual person and you like to see the demo straight away, okay, you can go to the actions here, general video. This is very handy. So I want to see how to, let's say just the introductions or get started. Yeah. You click the get started. They have the demo for you how to get started with everything. Yeah. This is the example. Yep, you can run it yourself. Okay, I know the voice might not be brought over. Okay, so that's why I show you where to get it, so you can watch the video yourself. Okay, so they have the very clear step-by-step guide, the demo, how to set up sales text, for example, learn more about Dynamic 365, just a brief introductions. Okay, where should I get additional resources to learn about this? What are the features? What features mean? What is job? Okay, locations. Okay, locations and transport order have something to do with warehousing. Yeah, if you're interested with warehousing, you can take a look on this one for the accounting part. Okay, and so on. So I'm going to put this aside first. Now, the different part of the role center. So the top here, of course, is the drop down menu. Okay, on the right hand side, there are three things that you might want to pay attention. First is the search. This is a very powerful search. It can search all the modules that you need in your Dynamic 365 Business Central. Yeah. And this is the notifications. If there's any error, any things that you need, you're supposed to do, you have a workflow that's already running, it's already completed, you can see under the notifications. This is the setting. Okay, so if you click the setting, they have a lot of options for your setting. Yeah, we take a look on that later on. Now, this is what we call cards. Yeah, so actually in the Power BI visualization, this is they create this using the Power BI. So using the Power BI visualization, this is what we call one card. Usually it's a summary of something. Okay, summary of sales of this month, overdue, and so on. Yeah. Now the different part of the role center, there's tell me part. Okay, you can learn something, you can search. Okay, about the questions mark there is the help menu. Okay, and the notifications, the setting, the help. Okay, there's the account management. So if you can't find where is the account management, you just click here, then type. Okay, so account management usually for you to manage the account itself. Yeah. Okay, so for example, you want to manage your customer account, so you just click customer here, or under the sales there's also customer. Yeah. Usually the important part they put it in this link. Okay, all this link is part of any of this module. Yeah. You can see the demo tour. Okay, in the beginning, every time you install it the first time, you can see the demo tour. You can even see the Power BI report. You can customize the Power BI report as well. Yeah. Now put this aside. So you can see your department. Insights is the monitoring tool. Yeah. Application Insight. The actions, usually what steps that you want to do. Activities is like tasks. Okay, phone call, create email, and so on. And also report. Now report, almost each of the module here have their own report. Okay, usually report is related to an object. For example, about sales, for example. Okay, if I go to customer, okay, customer is an object, sales quote, etc. Notice that in here they have a drop down menu called report. This report is context sensitive, so this report is in the context of customer. Schedule statement, customer order summary. If I go to vendor, for example, okay, they also have their own report. Yeah. Let's say sales order. Okay. They have their own reports. And remember I mentioned about the design, customizations, and personalizations. You design the report, for example. Yeah. So customizations and customization and design is very close. Let's say, yeah, you want to see the report sales reservations available. Yeah. Okay. So any of the reports, they usually have parameter to be passed. Yeah. And an options. For example, when I display this report, do I want to show each of the sales product that they purchase or not? Okay. So if yes, you show the sales line. Do you want to see any reservations that being made to the inventory or not? If yes, you turn it on. Okay. Quantity that ship, because your inventory might not have enough product. Okay, so they might ship differently. Okay, ship separately for those product. Yeah. So you can also filter the parameter. Okay. Anything else? Yes, about report. Now, for the report itself, yep. So if you go to the category of the report, notice you can actually edit, you can customize. Yeah. So for example, any of them doesn't matter. So let's say account category. So you can edit financial report. Yeah. The report is actually how you design is not that straightforward. They have a block. So either you customize the column definitions or row definitions. Yeah. So they're usually intersections. Looks like a matrix. Okay. So under the definitions here, see, they have row definitions and column definitions. Yeah. So what you can do, you can add row definitions. For example, you want to add to display additional main account. This is what we call the main account. This is the number, and this is the name of the main account, income account, cost of goods sold account. They have a key value pair of main account number and the name. Yeah. If you want to display more, you can add over here. Okay, in between, for example, or below, in the row. Or if you want to exclude something, you can simply delete it. Yeah. But remember, once you delete this line, your report, the subsequent report will have this to be omitted because you already customized your report design. Yeah. Anyway, row definitions, okay, and because I noticed that they didn't teach you for this part at all. Okay? In case you need to do make any changes, you can play around with that, but just be careful, because remember, when you edit, okay, maybe it's a good idea, instead of edit, you can copy it and edit it. Okay. Okay, now put aside. Banner and checklist. So usually they have this banner. Okay, usually they have checklist what need to be done. Okay, remember I mentioned you can use assisted setup to check what kind of to see the checklist, what you need to do as the configurations, for example. Yeah. They have tips and tour every time. If this is the first time you see that particular page, okay, a lot of time they automatically appear with this tips and tour guide. Okay, you can go next to see the simple tour. Usually the tour will not take more than 2 minutes, so you might as well go through it. Yeah. So the different pages, the list pages is the list in the list format, like a table. Yeah. Card pages is the one that I mentioned. Okay. Form, usually they call it card pages. Document pages, if you have to display the documents. Matrix pages, they have the intersection. For example, later when you do the dimensions, you will see matrix pages, okay, because there's an intersections, and in that intersections you have to modify the matrix according to your dimensions requirement. Worksheet pages is if you export it to Excel or import it from Excel, so you can filter. Now these are the shortcut that they promise, yeah. So if you want to filter the list, for example, you want to display only the customer that is what is it called, located in Sydney, for example, yeah. So you can create filter. Filter the list by, yeah, the example. Filter the total, okay. So if you filter the total, they filter only the calculated column. The filter criteria, yeah, you can set up the interval and conditions. For example, you want to filter, if it is interval, you can say the date, the sales order made from 1st of January to 31st of February 2022, for example. Okay. Or you can put the conditions or, okay, or not equal to. Okay. For example, you want to see any purchase from 1st of December until 31st of December, but excluding 25th of December, okay, for example. So not equal to. So the full list of the criteria is in this. Okay. Sometimes after you create the filter, you think that you're going to use it a lot in the future. Okay. For example, you keep filtering the customer from Sydney, customer from Canada, customer from different country. So rather than create the filter every time you need it, you just save it. Yeah, save the filter from the drop down menu, then you just reuse it. You're going to see that later in one of the upcoming exercise, not now but later. Also, Microsoft noticed that some people like shortcut. I don't memorize shortcut, but some people do like shortcut. So you can actually download the PDF file. Okay. I'm going to upload this PDF file inside your Google Drive as well. Okay. So if you can bookmark the Google Drive, I'm going to add a lot of documents later, one by one. Yeah. So the overview, the design pages. So you can change the page design. You click the edit and then you can change the page design by dragging and dropping the component on your Business Central page. Now, I don't recommend you to do this until you're familiar with your Dynamic 365 Business Central first, and then you can start editing the page. So you can customize the page, you can design the page, yeah. But this is only if you create the Business Central in the sandbox environment. Yeah. You can also do customizing the page, but usually for profile. Yeah. Now under the setting here, okay, you have the personalize. So personalize the row page. Okay, so I don't recommend you to personalize anything unless you know what you're doing. Okay, otherwise just leave it first. So for example, you want to add the field on top, you can click this field. They will list out all the field that you can add. Yeah. Oh, there's no, I didn't create any field yet. So if you have any extra field that you created, you can add it. Okay. So I just clear it up, put it aside first. So you can personalize the page. Once you click the personalize page, you can actually drag and drop. Yeah. I don't want to touch my page, but if you want to try, you can. Yeah. You can personalize your profile. Okay, for example, like I mentioned, you can add the field, change the width of the column, and so on. A lot of actions can be done here, but again I mentioned I can send you the link later on how to do all this. Okay, but don't do this one first until you're familiar first with Dynamic 365 Business Central. Yeah, after that you can do like oh, this one is could be useful because in the list view sometimes not all column will be displayed. Okay? Some column is actually there, but they just hide, it's just hidden. So you can show the hidden columns. You can add the notes, links or comments to the record. Yeah, so for example, you get new customer, you can add some notes. Okay, you can add links related to that customer, for example, or add the comments. Yeah. You can also attach document. So for example, let's say the customer, say I want to create the customer that is a person. Okay. Yep. So you can, as I mentioned, you can take a tour and see. And then you can start entering the data. What do I want to show just now? More options. Okay. You can add a workflow. You can add documents, okay, related to it. Anything else? If you already put the email address of the user, of the customer, you can send an email to him or her. Okay. If you have two customers that you think are accidentally duplicated, you can merge it. Yeah. If you have a template for your customer, you can apply a certain template. Yeah. Anything else? I think that's it. If you want to add not only the task and everything, but it's a document, you can click the attachment here. Okay, see I mentioned before, you can add the documents. Yeah. Or this customer have their own website, you might want to add the link. Okay. Or just notes. Okay, you can put some comments about this customer. Okay, so let's take a look on module 3. Basic user task. Okay, so the basic user task, usually you create, okay, the user. Okay, so after that the user can access your Dynamic 365 and they can manage, for example, journal, okay, the ledger entries and the document. Now in order to do this, you need to set up first before you can do journal and ledger entry. Usually you do the I mentioned in the beginning, yeah, the chart of accounts, main account. But the good news is by default, when you create Business Central, they already have the common general ledger journal. Okay, so all those you don't have to set up the from scratch, they already have the common one. You can modify it accordingly, or you can add your own main account, okay, according to your company requirement. You can insert, modify and delete new record. Okay, I already demoed just now how to create new customer, for example. You can sort. Okay, you can do the inspect page and data features. Now the documents, journal and ledger entry, actually it's not suitable in the beginning of the class. Later we are going to go through journal and ledger entry. Okay, we are going to see more about this. Yeah. Now This is straightforward. Insert, modify, and delete record. Okay, so you can simply create, modify, edit record by selecting what kind of records that you want to enter. In this example, I create the customer. Notice the customer form is not called form here, they call it customer card. Yeah. Notice as well, even I don't put any information there, they create my empty customer for me. So I'm going to delete this empty customer. Yeah. Now, what do I want to show just now? Oh yes, create an entry. So you can create customer, you can create vendor and so on. Okay, get the record. You can also set up the dimensions, for example. I'm sorry, what am I doing? Click the wrong button. Dimensions. Yep. This is the existing dimensions, okay, for our test company called Kronos US. Okay. You can create new one, or you can take a look on the existing one. Sorry, dimensions. Yeah. Take a look on the dimensions value. Yeah. That they already have. Okay, so usually to create dimensions, you click new. Give the meaningful name for the dimensions. Let's say product. It doesn't have to be capital, but I saw they put all capital, so I choose capital as well. And then after that, usually we set up the dimensions value. Yeah. Now, if you make a mistake, this is not what you want, you just delete it. But remember, dimensions have the dependencies. Any dimensions that has been used as a dependency, you cannot just delete. They will refuse to be deleted. Yeah? So if you find any dimension refuse to be deleted, because Business Central tried to prevent your data having the orphan informations. Yeah? Any other thing? Okay, I think that's all. Oh, the matrix. The sample of the matrix, you can see when I want to set up the dimensions okay, dimensions code. Wait, let me remember. This one, dimensions. Oh, this is to apply the account type. Okay. Oh, when I set up the intersections dimension, that one is different. Anyway, we take a look on that later on when we learn about dimensions. Now you can see you can insert, modify, and delete record. You can see later on as well how to edit it in Excel. Okay, it's very simple. You can also restrict on deleting record. You can find all related entry using the find button. You will see this along the way later in your lab. Okay, to find the documents and entry. You can sort. In the list view, you just choose the column that you want to sort it based on. Now, you can inspect the pages and the data. So this will give you more information about the specific page. This one is just if you are an IT consultant and you take a look on the data and you want to know this data is coming from which table, which entity. Yeah? They have that capability. Now, describe customer account. So the key master data in trade and finance module is the customer account. Yeah? So customer account can be connected with vendor. Not very common, but you can. Okay? Because customer usually is, as I mentioned, account receivable, vendor is accounts payable. Okay? Usually they have relations only when the customer is actually purchase something from you and you purchase from the vendor. Yeah? To fulfill the customer order. You can set up direct shipment, for example. So you order from the vendor, but vendor send it, instead of sending to you, they send it to the customer. So that's an example how you connect the customer with the specific vendor. General ledger account, we are going to see this later on. Yeah. Item is the if you have the list, okay, records itself is called item. Okay. So item is usually in the business central. It's not just a record, but it's a record of a product that you're selling or services that you're selling. Yeah. Vendor account. Yeah, vendor account is the company that you purchase from. So it's the information about your supplier, the name, the address, the phone number, and so on. Yeah. So it can be connected to the customer, as I mentioned. Okay, so